What's up, guys? So I'm Josh, Bama Jaybird, and this is Bama Jaybird Resell. Welcome to the channel. Beautiful day today here in Alabama. The sky is gorgeous. Take a look at this, guys. Love this time of year. Absolutely love it. It's starting to finally, break that cycle. I mean, it's still hot, don't get me wrong, but just starting September, it feels like finally just going to have a little bit of relief from the heat. And also, as we enter September, I had this thought, what are we doing as the fall is approaching to get ready for Q4? Because that's important. We got to get our mindset right. We've got to double down, I think, during this month. This is our last few weeks to really kind of hammer down on listings, and it's really important for that final total at the end of the year, because as we all know, Q4 a lot of times will make or break the year in terms of our total income. So what are you doing? That's my question for you. What kind of goal do you have? I would like to say that I've got an exact goal. I don't know that I've got one in mind, because I think limiting myself to say, okay, I've listed 20 items today, and therefore I've met my objective. Well, that's great, but to be honest, I'd like to do better than that. If I just went by only money right now, and I said, okay, if I get $300 or $500 or $1,000 of inventory listed, then I'm good. Well, sometimes that works. And I do think we need consistency. I think that's very important. But also I think about it and I'm like, is that going to really be enough? Because I need to have a really strong end to this particular year. Got a lot going on, a lot of expenses going out, just a lot of things that I need to make sure I can account for. So tell me in the comments what your plan or strategy is for getting ready for Q4, and how your listing goals are going to adapt or change as we hit this last month, this lead up to the beginning of that time period. So I'm excited for it. I'm ready to see how it goes. My sales have been kind of slow through the summer. Part of that's been on me because I've been busy with other things. But again, I'm looking to devote a lot of time these next few weeks to getting things listed. What's the saying? I'm going to try to get it done if it kills me. If it takes my sleep, we'll give up some sleep right now, and then we'll rest when things are rolling in Q4. So anyway, let's move over to some what solds, and we'll take a look at what's going out the door. All right, so let's get started with the what solds. Just going to quickly go through. Of course, I've got quite a few music sales, and I've got some really awesome news coming up. Hopefully on Thursday of this week, I'm going to be traveling over to Birmingham, and I'm looking to buy a curated collection of records that this man passed away and his estate's being settled. And just by happenstance, I went to pick up some other stuff that I purchased on Facebook and got to talking to this lady, and I'm getting a private pick, a first-hand look into those records, and she's already sent pictures of some of it. There's like 13 original Beatles albums, 17 Elvis albums, 3 or 4 Van Morrison, several Rolling Stones. Just looks like a really awesome collection. Over 600 records, between 600 and 700, I think about 650, 660. And it's a big price. I'm not gonna tell you much more about it now, because I really hope to be able to do a recap on it come Thursday after I've been over there. I hope she will let me record while I'm there. I'd love to share that with you. But let's get started on this. So Brian Wilson, this CD is new and sealed. This is from that big buy, and this sold for $5 plus shipping. Maybe you can see that, Brian Wilson and Friends. All right, then I have, this is what my good friend Happy Picker, Lori, would say is a Nolo, probably that and this. I bought this little Toy Story plush probably when I first started picking. It's probably been with me about 3 years. It's been listed down in the bottom of a plush box. And I had someone that was a watcher this week. So, man, I threw out an offer of $4 and they took it. That's not much, I know, but I don't care. Getting it out of the house, and it's better than throwing it away. Next item going out, I have 10 Years After, the Essential 10 Years After Collectors. And so this is 14 tracks. Another one from my big music buy. That sold for $6.50 plus shipping. The next item is a sealed copy of the Monkees. This is the Monkees Good Times, and this sold for $6.87 plus shipping. Next item, also music. This is Vanity Fair, the sun, the wind, and other things. This is 25 tracks. Again, a lot of these CDs are limited run, out of print. They're not being made anymore. This is from 1991, and this sold for $11.39 plus shipping. Next item. So most of you know about breaking down food processors and items of that nature. This is from a Cuisinart Smart Power food processor, and this is just the gearbox collar. That's all. But this sold for $11.78. I think it gave like $6 for the entire thing. And I listed, of course, the base, the gearbox, the cup, the lid, the plunger, the blades, everything I listed separate. And I mean, I got probably $70 worth of listings out of that because I listed it separate. So next we have another music item. This is the Stone Ponies featuring Linda Ronstadt, Volume 2. This one, it's a kind of a rare CD. And this sold for $27.99 plus shipping. Again, these are mostly music CDs that are out of print. I would say this, I can't, you know, of course, I'm not familiar with like classical like my buddy Resell is, but when you're looking at music, there's going to be familiar names that you're drawn to, right? Like I mentioned this before, like some of the heavy metal bands or maybe some of the old school rap. But also when you're looking at music, pay special attention to things that just kind of look old, even CDs. CDs are getting to the point now, they've been around so long that some of these that were distributed and printed and produced back in the 80s and the early 90s, they've not been printed again since then. So they're harder to find and they have really good value. That one again, $27.99 plus shipping. The next item, this is one that some of you may not know about. This is a brand called Spray Ground. Now I know a lot of you probably do, but I mentioned this to a couple of reselling friends of mine that hadn't heard of it. Spray Ground is a really good brand of backpack. I've had 2 or 3 of these. I guess maybe because of teaching school, that's why I knew about this. Some of the kids, not many of them because they're so expensive, but some of the kids, I always thought it was cool if they had a Spray Ground backpack. Now, this was not in the best of shape, guys. It's got a lot of wear on it. You can see where it's wore a little bit. It's got some cracks in it. But I pictured everything. I didn't hide anything. I showed every detail in my photographs. And I still sold that backpack for $25 plus shipping. Now these will sell for $50, $60, $70, $80, $90 and up. This one, because of condition, I priced it down at like $35 and took an offer of $25. But again, I only gave like $3 for it, so I'm good with that. So this next item I got at the $127. It is the Outer Limits Volumes 1, 2, and 3. This is the complete original series, I believe. But these 3 sold really well. They sold for $34.99 plus shipping. So the Outer Limits, it's a good one to look for when you're out there picking. Now, next I have my last music sale of the day. This is another Peter and Gordon. Remember I had the big Peter and Gordon lot that sold for like $135. This is a sealed CD that has 4 albums on it, and this one sold for $37.99 plus shipping. The next item going out is a pair of Doc Martens. Now these are made in England, vintage. They are a smaller size. This is like a men's size 7, but they're the chunky sole. Very nice condition for their age. And I picked these up for, I think it was $5, and I sold these for $30 plus shipping. All right, next item, if you watched my picking video recently that I've done, I picked up a lot of electronics, especially Bose. And these double cube speakers, I lotted them together in sets of 2, and I sold each of these sets for $32 plus shipping to the same buyer. So about $64 right here in the bag going out to the same buyer. So that right there pretty much got my money back, and I've still got the big unit. I've got all the wires, I've got the mounts, I've got more speakers, more cube speakers. So I'm already going to be in the profit with that the next time I make a sale. So also in that recent picking video, or in one of my recent videos that I released, I had gone after a bunch of books, and those books that I had gone to pick up, it turned out to be a bust, right? Well, in the end, I wound up getting a big stack of hats from the same lady out of that same building that she was supposed to have the books in. But this one is line hats. It is vintage. A very, very nice fedora though overall. And this one sold for $49.99, $50 plus shipping. And then my best sell was also one of the hats that I picked up. This one is the Gun Club Stetson, a vintage Stetson hat. But this one right here sold for $69.99, $70 plus shipping. Super nice hats. getting all that shipped out today. So all total, that was something like $535 or somewhere around abouts for 15 items sold. So pretty good, a little lot there of stuff going out. I'm excited to, like I said, to see how things go as we enter into the fourth quarter. I have been working hard here lately trying to list as much as possible, and I'm trying to carry that over into September and make it my best listing month of the year, because I really want to see success, like I said, in Q4. And so, you know, guys, set the bar high, but set it reachable. Make sure those goals are something that can be attained. You want to feel that sense of accomplishment, right? But you also want to make sure that you are challenging yourself. You know, goals are great, and I'm all for having a numerical goal, whether it's a number of listings or a value of listings to do every day. I think that's a good practice and to be consistent. But I also think the closer we get to the beginning of Q4, the more important it is that we do everything we can to get as much listed as possible, because Q4 often determines the success of our year to a degree. Now, I'm not saying you can sit around and do nothing until then, but I'm just saying there's so many more sales during this time period that's coming up that if we don't really get ready for it and put in the effort, then we will miss out. So, you know, if you've got items that are sealed and new, especially items that would make really good gifts for Christmas that you've been kind of leaving in the death pile, probably time to get those listed. Want to get those up and get them ready. But also just any kind of collectibles, things that you know might have a good market around Q4. Make sure, guys, that you get those listed. Get on top of things. I'm intending to list all I can. I'm probably going to sacrifice some sleep in these next few weeks if that's what it takes to try to get it done. And I'm excited to see the payoff and see how it turns out, because I'd really like to have a strong close to this year, especially after the slow summer with everything else I've had going on and the distractions and dividing my time between so many different things. So anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. You know, what's your goals, what's your plans as you're heading into this fourth quarter for this year? How do things look for you? Are you on pace to maybe break your record for sales? Are you behind where you want to be? I would like to this year make more than I made last year, and I need a really strong Q4 to do that because I'm behind last year. So we'll see how it goes. I definitely, either way, whatever happens by the end of this year, I want to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward and I'm giving myself the best possible chance to succeed and to meet those goals. You know, I've always been a really strong proponent of setting goals. I used to teach my kids at school. I'd say, I'd tell them to set reachable goals. I mean, I think it's important to understand and know ourselves, to know what we're capable of. The truth is, we know oftentimes we have some limitations. I know what mine are, but that being the case, that doesn't mean I should set my goals so low that I don't even have to lift my feet to step over them. So we want to set goals that we can reach, but we want to set goals that also challenge us. So I would encourage you in this Q4, as we're approaching it anyway, in this last month leading up to it, for the month of September, stretch yourself. Set goals that are going to demand a little more of yourself than what you ordinarily would. Set a goal that you have to work hard to accomplish. And the great thing about goals and goal setting is when you set a goal and you reach that goal, it's so rewarding. It's rewarding in ways that money doesn't really matter. It's just the fact of being able to set your mind to something, accomplish it, and feel that intrinsic value that it has of just having accomplished and achieved what you set out to do. A good friend over at Retro Renewed who commented on a video recently, because I've been stretched so thin and I feel like I've kind of let things down some, right? I feel like I haven't really achieved what I wanted to this year in a lot of ways. But he said, show yourself some grace, and I thought, man, what a great statement that is, because too many times, we get caught up in everything going on around us. We get kind of down on ourselves. We get discouraged, we get disappointed. And the fact of the matter is, if we're doing all we can do, sometimes we need to accept that, we may not, I'm not one for bragging or boasting on self, but sometimes when we are doing all we can do, we definitely need to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. We're doing what we can do. And I think others see that, God sees that, and he rewards us accordingly. So we're going to press on, but I am excited. I'm really excited about this month leading up to Q4 and hoping for big things. I'm challenging myself. I hope you will challenge yourself. I'm not setting a number goal because I don't want to be satisfied at the end of a day and say, okay, because I've listed 20 items, I'm good. Or maybe if I get it done early in the day, I want to push myself beyond that. So I know there's going to be days that I'm busy and days I can't. So I know I've got to go beyond that to have that average. But that being said, I want to have a lot of listings for a lot of value this month. I'd like to break records in my sales for this next Q4 over what I've had the last 2 years. And I'll let you know how it turns out. So hopefully my Q4 this time, again, I'll be better than 2023 and better than 2022. That's my goal. So guys, I love you. I hope you've enjoyed the video today. I thank God for allowing me to do this, and for allowing me to be at home with my mom, for allowing me to sell on eBay. I mean, all these doors that have opened up and these opportunities, they are wonderful, and I'm appreciative of them. I don't never want to take them for granted, but like I said, I love you guys. God loves you more than I do. Never forget that. And whatever you do, guys, don't you ever, ever give up. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.